Welcome. My name is Sian Croose and welcome to my workshop, Connection and Separation, Community Music in a Time of Division. I've been a community musician for nearly 35 years, and over the past 4 years I've noticed since the 2016 referendum here in the UK that I'm practicing in what I observe to be a more anxious and divided country. I have noticed the need for community music spaces that allow people to commune without conflict and experience solidarity with others beyond some of the political binaries that characterise our current condition here in the UK. Obviously, a lot has happened in the months since I first submitted this idea for a workshop to CMA, so I'd like to extend a little bit beyond the scope of the original proposal to include that and reflect it. So I'm going to start by playing you an extract from a piece of repertoire from Search and Reflect, which was the training I did in 1986, which was based on the teachings of John Stevens. And yeah, this is a piece called Now Time for Unification.
Okay, great. We have a piece called Now Time for Unification. Intro, unison, groups, unison, intro. 1, 2, 3, 4, now. Time. Now. Time. Now. Time. Now. Time. Now time for unification. Now 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 time. Now time for liberation. Now time. Now time for unification. Now time.
So, years training with community music East in 1985-86 was my starting point as a community musician. And in the intervening years, the ethos of Search and Reflect has informed my practice, from the focus on pulse, rhythm, improvisation, to the idea of a collective musical organism that facilitates a tuning in of workshop participants in creative musical communication. The idea that community music itself is a kind of activism has stayed with me as well through years of working with a wide range of adults and children, with the emphasis on respect, accessibility, and where every member of the group is valued, and simultaneously the collective is also valued as a container for us all equally. The socialist values held by the founders of community music are implicit in my work. My politics are probably obvious, but it's important to me that I'm able to provide a space where everyone feels welcome. The other big influences on me were M. Scott Peck's work, The Different Drum, which was a community building programme. I first read the book, then I attended a workshop, and then I went to a workshop with Ise Maria Barnwell of Sweet Honey in the Rock. That was probably one of the most important weekends of my life, going to that. She combines music, history and politics in an affecting and immersive experience of singing in the African American tradition. So I'm going to focus on 3 experiences and 3 pieces of music. I run a group called Women's Voices, and one weekend I taught this song. It's an anti-fascist song and it's called Bella Ciao, and it goes like this. We are the people and we are singing, oh Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, Ciao, Ciao. We are singing to come together, for together we are strong. So that's the tune. We're all going to learn that. So I'll sing a bit and sing it back. So, we are the people and we are singing. So after 2, 1, 2. We are the people and we are singing. And then it goes, oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Okay, so after 3, 1, 2. We are the people and we are singing. Oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Next little bit goes, we are singing to come together, for together we are strong. Okay, so that bit, 1, 2. We are singing to come together, for together we are strong. So I'm going to sing the whole thing. We, after 3, 1, 2. We are the people and we are singing. Oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. We are singing to come together, for together we are strong. So after that brief experience of the tune, I'm going to play you that on a recording that I've already done with a couple of harmonies at the end. So, bella ciao. We are the people and we are singing. Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. We are singing to come together, for together we are strong. We are the people and we are singing. Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. We are singing to come together, for together we are strong. We are the people and we are singing. Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. We are singing to come together, for together we are strong. So we were just coming to the end of a workshop, Women's Voices, and it was a weekend where Boris Johnson lost a vote in the Brexit process. It was before the last election, and so a conversation arose about that. And Katie, who's a doctor, who's in the group, was part of this conversation, and somebody had made a particularly derogatory comment about people who'd voted leave, and she quietly said, well, I did, and I felt a responsibility to offer a space to connect in, and I asked her why, and she explained it was to do with an EU directive that had negatively impacted, she felt, on what had been a good working practice for her in the NHS. And then she also went on to talk about how it had been a very, very difficult couple of years for her since the referendum, and she'd lost a significant friendship, in fact 2 significant friendships over this issue. And she finished up by saying that this was the first time that she'd been asked why she voted leave, and been listened to, and that we'd listened to her answer. And then she said, was she still welcome in the group? And it was a moment of real shift, as the woman who made the original comment kind of apologised. And we went on then to talk about how do we manage these differences in a group, which is an ongoing conversation. So yeah, second thing, I'd like to talk about is my choir that I run. And Big Sky, it's a weekly community choir, and it started in the mid-90s. It sings a range of repertoire from Georgian chant and African American spirituals to protest songs and newly commissioned pieces for projects such as Amnesty International's 50th anniversary and a celebration of the English poet John Clare. Most of its membership are white, they're middle-aged, they're university educated, they're liberal. About 50 members, and over time and as a group, and not without some strong debate, we have decided that we are a non-political group, and that overtly political activity, such as singing to support either side of the referendum or singing to support Labour, isn't something that we'll do as a choir. We arrived at that decision, and if I or anybody else runs those kinds of things, we can invite members of the choir to come. Often they do, and but it's not identified with us as a choir. And two things have come up in that arena, if you like. The first one was Extinction Rebellion. So about 10 of the choir members are in XR, and they came to the choir AGM with the idea of a fundraising concert. And the idea was suggested, and there was a slightly chilly British silence, which I felt I had to address. I said something like, oh, there seems to be some different feelings around this issue, and we probably just need to acknowledge that. So we had a discussion around it, and while some of the members of the group are involved in and supportive of green issues, they're not supportive particularly of the XR approach. Others aren't engaged, and one of the guys in the group works in the oil industry. It was interesting because one of the first comments in the debate was that climate change isn't political. And then that was another discussion, because some people didn't agree with that. What transpired was a process, and then out of that some solutions to how we were to accommodate ourselves, and one of which was that the Extinction Rebellion supporters were going to be running a workshop open to the public, and I was going to help them work out what they were going to do in it and how they were going to teach the material. And then the whole group have commissioned 3 songs, 3 nature songs, and they are part of our new repertoire, and I'm going to teach you one of those now, just the very, very beginnings of one. So this is a song called Orchard, and it's by Brendan Taff, and the words are, oh, let us take what we love inside and carry within us an orchard. And I'm going to teach you the alto part. So it goes like this. Oh, let us take what we love inside and carry within us an orchard. Oh, let us take what we love inside and carry within us an orchard. Okay? Oh, so I'm going to sing a little bit and sing it back to me. So it goes 1, 2. Oh, let us take what we love inside. 1, 2. Oh, let us take what we love inside. Okay, one more for that. So 1, 2. Oh, let us take what we love inside. Next bit goes, and carry within us an orchard. So I'm going to add that on, starting here. 1, 2. Oh, let us take what we love inside and carry within us an orchard. Oh, let us take what we love inside and carry within us an orchard. Okay, so that's the alto part. It comes in second. You'll hear the soprano part first, and then there's some other harmonies that come in. I'm just going to do the intro with you. So this is Orchard. So we come to more recent times now and Black Lives Matter. Here is an extract from an email that I sent to the choir a few weeks ago. I realised that I was going to go into what may have been difficult territory, but I felt there wasn't a choice in this instance, and however I looked at it, this felt like a bit of a deal breaker, and I was prepared to have people leave if they weren't willing to engage with this. I personally couldn't bear to have the bad faith of sharing African American music with a group that wasn't willing to do the work that the death of George Floyd and Black Lives Matter has made so clear. So this is a little bit of an extract. I've been thinking about how we can engage with Black Lives Matter as a choir, a mainly white choir that sings African and American music. I've spoken to Michael Harper and Brendan Taff, and we've come up with the idea of offering a session where we have a conversation and maybe looking at specific songs and then taking it out to wider issues. There is space for small group discussion and questions and maybe reflections too. We hope to invite Kathy Bullock, who is a colleague of Brendan's and Professor of Music at Berea University. I'm looking at articles and other reading material, and we'll send some of these through before the session. If anyone else has material to share, information about any of the songs we sing, writings, recordings or clips to watch, I can share those too. So we ran the session and it went well. It's the start of a process. A lot of the group are switched on, some are not. This was one of my favourite responses to the invitation because the woman who wrote it was so honest. So thanks for the opportunity to do this. I'm often dealing with feelings of shame, guilt and awkwardness around racism and my white privilege, and I really welcome the opportunity to go there as a group. So thank you. I'm going to teach you a bit of one of the songs that we learnt, and this is an African American spiritual, also used as a civil rights song, and the arrangement that I'm going to share with you is by Sharon Durant, who's a colleague of Dave Camlin's, and it's called Ain't Gonna Let Nobody Turn Me Round. So this is the tune which we're going to learn. So it's ain't gonna let nobody turn me round, turn me round, turn me around. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me round. Keep on walking, keep on talking, marching on to freedom land. Okay, so that's the main melody. And I'm going to do it in two little bits. So, ain't gonna let nobody turn me round, turn me round, turn me around. Okay, so that 1, 2. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me round, turn me round, turn me around. Okay, next bit. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me round. Keep on walking, keep on talking, marching on to freedom land. Okay, so the whole thing. 1, 2. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me round, turn me round, turn me around. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me round. Keep on walking, keep on talking, marching on to freedom land. Okay, so I'm going to play you the recording and sing along with it. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. Keep on walking, keep keep on talking, marching on to freedom land. Ain't gonna lay down and never turn nobody, never gonna lay down, never turn nobody around. Ain't gonna lay down, never turn nobody, and keep on walking, keep on talking, keep on marching on to freedom land. Ain't gonna lay down, never turn nobody, ain't gonna lay down, never turn nobody, ain't gonna lay down, never turn nobody, and keep on walking, keep on walking, keep on talking, keep on talking, keep on marching, keep on walking to freedom land. Thank you. I'm going to end here and hopefully see some of you in the next part for a discussion of some of the issues raised.